Horizon Forbidden West is very closely upon us. On February 18th, the game is releasing, and in today's video, we're going to be going through my final huge preview for Horizon Forbidden West, detailing story information, gameplay mechanics, the world of Forbidden West, new machines, and much more information to fill you in before jumping in this February. Before we do that though, if you are new here and you're checking out the channel for the first time, please make sure you subscribe, like the video, and turn on the notification bell to be updated when I bring out more content of different varieties, so stay tuned for more content. Forbidden West picks up 6 months after the events of Horizon Zero Dawn. Aloy is now on a journey into the Forbidden West to find the source of the Red Blight, which is just destroying life and destroying the cycle of like birth, rebirth, and death. Is just affects everything that is in this post-apocalyptic world. It's affected everything: machines, organic life. Unless the source is found, it could have devastating ramifications for the rest of the world. War is also a massive part of Forbidden West, and Regalia, a warring leader, or Regala I should say, is seeking control of it all with the help of Silence. If you remember him from the first game, he is played by Lance Riddick. He seems to be able to give them a way to control machines for war. Tremotusk and Bristlebacks are some of the main ones that we've seen them using, but there is going to be much more machines that they will probably be using against us. You aren't alone though. You have some returning allies such as Val and Erend. They are also going to be joining you, but you will meet some new allies in Zoe, Alva, and Catalo. The story will be taking us on a journey to old areas of San Francisco. It seems from the San Francisco bridge that we have got little glimpses of, delving into the deep secrets that could be there, and ultimately to try and find relics of the past to help save the future. There is a new character by the name of Tilda, who's played by Carrie-Anne Moss from the Matrix series, and she is going to have some type of connection to the past and also the time before everything went to ruin. Now that the story's out the way, let's talk about gameplay, the world, and just talk about everything to do with Horizon Forbidden West. Traversal is what we're going to talk about first. Horizon Forbidden West is really taking big leaps upon the first game with deeper ways to traverse the world. Climbing is much more improved. You'll be able to scan the areas and be able to go to more areas more freely than you did in Horizon Zero Dawn. There is a way to have more freedom to find more resources because you're able to just freely climb and have a little bit more movement to areas that you want to get to. Adding in the Polecaster, which is essentially a grapple hook, this will allow you to reach ledges that you wouldn't be able to reach before, and also making traversing the world that much easier. I hope that we are able to use it in like combat to grapple onto the back of machines and such. That would be pretty cool. Another thing that is really cool that they are adding in is the Shield Wing. The Shield Wing is essentially a glider which allows you to reach places that you couldn't before. Like you basically going to be jumping off things and gliding down. You could be gliding into a camp, you could be gliding into a stealthy position. It's all down to player's choice. And the way the world is being built, there is a lot more verticality unlike the previous title, but it's not just up high. Now that we have underwater biomes and we get to experience those new types of biomes, uncovering secrets with the new traversal systems will be that much more fun. Now let's take a little detour into the world and the visuals, because I do think that it is a very, very big thing that the game is going to be on the PlayStation 5, so they're able to update a lot of the graphics and the visuals. You can't obviously have a great and interesting traversal system without talking about the world. Visually, from all of the gameplay footage that we've got to see, Forbidden West looks stunning on the PlayStation 5. Wide open vistas with plenty to climb upon, more dense fauna that populates the world, like jungles, tropical jungles with beaches, underwater areas, and then also that variety of biomes with the snowy Alps and more northern style areas. And then obviously the machines are woven into that as part of nature. I'm really excited to just explore this world, and hopefully you are too. But Guerrilla Games aren't just spending time making the world beautiful, they are making everything in it have some form of value. This brings us into settlements and tribes and side quests. A huge part of Aloy's story and general gameplay will be in settlements. Settlements are more social hubs that will be filled with a variety of NPCs, areas for crafting and buying upgrades, but it's more expanded from what we have previously seen in Zero Dawn. Each settlement will have a distinct culture to it and a feel to it, and depending on the tribes that live there, will potentially have some different interactions. The visual design will add that authenticity to each tribe that owns a particular settlement. For example, two tribes that were in the previous game, the Ozaram and the Kaja, they are shown to be, kind of valued with each other. They've got this sense of community, interacting with each other and having these high fives and stuff like that. And then the Kaja are more, stout, and they are like more masculine and, really, warrior type race. And then you go into the two new tribes that we get to see is one, the Ataru. The Ataru live in the Plains Sun, so in the open plains, and they have been affected by the blight that is ravaging the land. They try to sing to heal the land, but they're not having much success because the blight, we don't know what the source of the blight is. The second is the Tinakath, which they are going to be three separate clans that have different unique aspects to them, but they are fiercely good warriors, and they will occupy some of the new areas in Forbidden West. And then lastly, we have Regala's Rebels. They're a hostile tribe, essentially going out for war. They want to cause pain, disruption, and they want to take over anything, and they will most likely be the main antagonist alongside some of the other characters that we've seen in the game. As previously mentioned, settlements are going to be a big focus, but Guerrilla Games have really taken time to give any extra content that is explored within these settlements, and this is where the array of side quests come into the game. NPCs will offer you side quests that can unlock new weapons, ability progress, and progressing the story in the world. For example, in Chainscrape, one of the first towns that you're probably going to make your way into, there is a side quest called the Melee Pit. These will help you test your skills against a variety of enemies, essentially mini combat challenges with rewards at the end. Another example is a new board game known as Machine Strike. This is going to be similar to Gwent if you've played the Witcher games before, so that people are probably going to get addicted to that. And then there's one other example, which would be salvage contracts, in which you would hunt down various parts of machines to build a suit of armor to help you within your gameplay. Cosmetics and upgrades, and also will add a lot more value into those side quests, so you get something at the end that you might want when doing them, whether that's gameplay, cosmetics, etc. And these will probably fill up a lot of your playtime, obviously going around all the different settlements. Now that that's all out of the way, let's talk about machines and enemies. Before we break down combat, we need to go over what you will be facing in Forbidden West. New enemies have been seen, more machines, more humans that are brutish champion styles, and there's probably going to be other ones with flame hammers, and we have got to see little brief snippets there. But I'm going to go through all the machines that we have right now that are confirmed, but even Guerrilla Games have said there's something like 40 plus machines in the game, so it would be really cool to see all of them. Machines are now separated into 5 types, or like a class. We have acquisition, recon, combat, communication, transport. So transport's obviously bringing cargo and such. Communication allows for communication between a variety of machines. Combat, which are your dangerous machines. Recon, which will be your patrolling sentries. And then acquisition, which is just machines for harvesting resources. Machines that are coming back from the previous game are bellowbacks, chargers, glinthawks, grazers, ravagers, snapmaws, stormbirds, striders, tallnecks, thunderjaws, stalker, watcher, and the scrapper. So if you are a fan of all those from the previous game, then you'll be happy to see them here. New machines to talk about though are the bristlebacks, which are warthog-like machines that have tusks and are going to be probably used by the hostile tribes. We might be able to ride them. The burrows, which are a new recon machine, and obviously they can burrow and emit high-pitched noises to alert other, enemies or other machines that are around you. There's the clamberjaws, which are like the have a strong resemblance to monkeys and lemurs. the Claw Striders, which look like raptors from Jurassic Park and are either going to be like a recon or a combat machine, and most likely are going to be rideable, which would be pretty cool. The Rollerbacks, these are essentially giant armored armadillos that are probably going to roll into you and when they attack you. The Shell Snappers, which is the huge turtle-like creature we got to see in the trailers. The Sunwings, which are the pterodactyl-looking ones. The Tide Rippers, which look very much like plesiosaurs. They have like long necks and they'll probably be a threat in the water. And then we have the Trematusks, which are the huge mammoths that have a variety of explosive surge attacks, and they actually just generally look amazing. It's probably one of my favorite additions. And then finally we have Slitherfangs. Slitherfangs are literally huge freaking machine cobras that will spit acid at you, and they're probably going to cause you a whole heap of issues throughout your encounters in the game. Each machine will probably be integrated into the world and won't feel completely out of place, which is, if you've played the first game, big hulking machines as wildlife is very cool, and it kind of fits in to the general theme of the game. Delving into combat in Forbidden West, it's gone through a lot of changes in comparison to Zero Dawn. Aloy plays very similar to the first game, but they wanted to add more depth to the combat. Melee combat has seen some big upgrades, as it has a new combo system this time, which also stacks up energy in Aloy's Resonator, a new gadget which can be used to deal a burst of energy and deal out huge damage when you hit with an arrow. You get to see it a couple times in the trailers. Plus, we've also seen Valor Surges, which are big shockwave-like attacks where it puts a lot of the Resonator into the front of the staff, and you're going to be able to use those. The new focus on close range combat means that range combat, that was excellent in the first game, gets like a very nice synergy now. Range combat hasn't been left out though. There's still a selection of arrows that have different effects. There's also explosive javelins this time that allow for big damage, and a sling which can fire sticky grenades, slow down enemies, clusters, and also a selection of bows which will have a different style of combat: long bows, short bows, more precise hard hitting and quick firing. And then also on top of that, if you knock off things off machines, you will be able to use those as well. I think we get to see Aloy use like a cannon against the Trematusk in one of the fights in the earlier state of play footages that we got to see. And the skill trees are also present again, having a warrior, trapper, hunter, survivor, machine master, and infiltrator. These will all have these valor surges, and essentially these are tied to specific skills within that tree. Not only that, but outfits can be upgraded to give stat boosts for certain skill trees, likewise outfits for hunting, cooking, for skill boosting for your foods, and much more. The overall combat loop looks way much more improved to the previous game, and I can't wait to get in and try it out for myself. Rounding out the end of the video, I'm going to give you my quick thoughts about Horizon Forbidden West and why I'm excited for this. One, it just looks like a massive upgrade from the first game. Obviously, we are on the PlayStation 5, so that's a very easy assumption to make. But just the value point that we have, being able to explore more of the world, have different lush environment, an upgrade to the combat system. There's very small things that they're just added upon and kind of changed enough when it comes to the open world that it will feel so much better this time around. The only problem with Zero Dawn was the climbing system, but now it's been changed. They've added that and they've improved it, and I do think that the story is going to be incredible, and we could be seeing our first game of the year this year in February, but it also is going to be going up against Elden Ring later on in the month as well. I'm excited for this. Hopefully you are too, and if you want to stay tuned for more content, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new, and turn on that notification bell. I will be doing some Horizon Zero Dawn stuff when the game comes out. Most likely it's going to be some side quest gameplay videos. There's not going to be too much stuff. I'm not going to be doing full breakdowns on that because it's so close to another game that I'm also covering as well. So I'll give you my impressions after a certain amount of hours and all that, because it's just what we like to do here on the channel. But if you've enjoyed this video, thank you for watching. This has been It's Jimbo, and I will see you guys next time.